So Joe and Amy start from the same point and run in opposite directions. Joe runs 2 miles per hour faster than Amy. After 3 hours, they are 30 miles apart. How fast did each person run? So, how can we kind of get started with the solution to this problem? Well, you always want to try to visualize or model a problem if you can. And here we can kind of come up with a quick sketch, something like this that kind of illustrates visually what's going on, right? So, here is the point maybe where they started to run from. So, Amy and Joe are going in opposite directions, maybe like west and east, but they're not going at like, let's say, some sort of angle like so. Okay, this is not opposite directions. It's literally got to be exactly opposite, right? So basically along this same line, maybe like a road or something like this. Okay, so after 3 hours, they are 30 miles apart. Obviously, Joe is running this way, Amy's running this way, and after 3 hours, they are 30 miles apart. So this is part of the problem. This gives us good start, but there's some other details in here, which basically Joe is running faster than Amy, so we're going to definitely need to use this part of the problem, this piece of information, to figure this thing out. But what is the question here? Well, the question is how fast is each person running? So we don't really, know any more information than what we have in this problem. So we need to kind of think about some variables here. Well, what could we use? Well, when you are thinking about algebra, okay, or how to use algebra to solve a word problem, let your variables represent in a general, this is pretty much how you want to do it in all algebra word problems, but there are, of course, exceptions to everything. But here, the question is, how fast is each person running? So we have to think about some variables, maybe like x and y, and maybe it's a good idea to let's say the variable x represent how fast Joe is running, and maybe let the variable y represent how fast Amy is running, because this is what we're looking for, right? If we can figure out what x and y are, well, then we will have solved the problem. Okay, so let's go ahead and actually formalize this kind of thinking. So we'll write this down. We'll let x equals Joe's speed in miles per hour, and then we'll let y equals Amy's speed in miles per hour. Now, why miles per hour? Well, because our problem, the information in the problem, is dealing with miles and hours, and we're also being told here that Joe runs 2 miles per hour faster than Amy. So you got to make sure you have the correct units of measure. So miles per hour is what we want to be using. Okay, so that is our variables. And when you are doing any algebra or math word problem, you want to delineate especially in algebra, you got to let someone else know, hey, what your variables stand for. Someone like your teacher or yourself, if you go back, because if you just start saying, okay, x is this, and you don't even know what x represents, well, then you can get confused, and obviously your teacher will not know what your variables represent. Okay, so this is the first part of this problem. We have some variables. Now we need to build some equations because our goal is to solve for x and y. But we can't do anything here unless we understand a formula that has to deal with motion problems. And this formula is an absolute must-know. And let's go and take a look at this right now. Okay, so I have a table. I'll explain this table here in a second. But this is the formula that you must understand if you are any sort of math student, okay? Because these problems are everywhere in mathematics. Again, motion problems. And the formula is rate times time is equal to distance. All right, let me give you a simple example, then we'll take a look at this table. All right, so rate is your speed, effectively. So if you have a car, and a car is going 60 miles per hour, that is the rate of the car. Now, if this car goes for 1 hour, okay, 60 miles per hour, and it goes for 1 hour of time, so rate times time, or speed times time, is equal to the distance the car will have gone. All right, so 60 miles per hour times 1 is obviously 60, so the car will have gone 60 miles in 1 hour. Now, or 1 hour. So this seems like common sense, but we have to be very aware of the units of measure here. So miles per hour is actually a rate. In other words, we could write it this way, miles per 1 hour, and we're multiplying that, by 1 hour. Okay, so what's going on here is this is a fraction, and these units of measure are being cross-canceled, and we're left with miles as our answer. So anytime you use a formula, you must be very aware of the units of measure. But this particular formula, again, rate times time is equal to distance, is one thing that you definitely want to kind of put away in your long-term memory. Okay, so now that we understand the formula and we have some variables here that represent Joe and Amy's speed, what we can do is organize all this information in the problem this way using a table. And a table is a very good way to organize information in solving algebra word problems. So it's not the only way you can do this problem, but it's a pretty classic way of doing it. So if you like using tables, well, this is a perfect type of problem for you. Okay, so let's go ahead and have some columns here. And basically, we have 4 columns. So we have the people that are involved, which of course is Joe and Amy. And then we have rate times time is equal to distance. Rate times time is equal to distance, and we're just basically going to start filling in the blanks. Okay, so what is Joe's rate? Okay, well, that is Joe's speed. Well, we don't know that, right? But we did say that X is going to represent Joe's speed in miles per hour, and Y will be Amy's speed in miles per hour. So we're going to put those, we'll put in X and Y as the rate or speed for Joe and Amy. Okay, now the time is what? Well, remember, the problem said that they ran for 3 hours, okay? 3 hours, and then in those 3 hours, they were 30 miles apart, okay? But that is the time, right? So right over here for time, we're going to put 3, okay? And this represents 3 hours. Now the distance, some of you might be saying, well, hey, let's just put in 30. Well, no, remember, rate times time is equal to distance. So the distance for Joe is 3 times x. So rate times time is equal to distance. X times 3, or 3x, is this distance for Joe. And then 3 times y, or 3y, is the distance for Amy. Okay, now here, once we have this table kind of figured out, what we need to do is build ourselves some equations. Now let's notice how many variables we are dealing with. Well, we have x and y. So in order to solve for x and y, we will need 2 separate equations. So kind of the rule of thumb in algebra is how many variables you're looking to solve for. In this case, we're looking to solve for 2 variables. That's how many equations we are going to need to build in order to solve for both x and y. Okay, so let's go ahead and build these equations. So our first one is this. The total distance between Joe and Amy is 30 miles. All right, so this is 3x plus 3y is equal to 30. Let's understand this equation right here. Okay, so this is Joe's distance right here, 3x. This is how far Joe ran in those 3 hours. Amy ran this distance, 3y, but both of their distances together make up that 30 miles. So if we add up Joe and Amy's distance, how much they ran, well, it's going to be equal to 30 miles. Okay, so this is the first equation, hopefully, that most of you saw that we can build. Now, the second one is hopefully pretty obvious. We're going to use this part of the problem. Joe runs 2 miles per hour faster than Amy. Okay, so this is Joe's speed. Remember, x in miles per hour. So this is Amy's speed. Okay, so if Joe is running 2 miles per hour faster than Amy, well, we're going to take Amy's speed, add 2 to it, and that is Joe's speed. So x is equal to y plus 2. Okay, so we're almost ready to kind of go to the next phase of the problem, and that is what we have is a lovely linear system. All right, so this is specifically, this is what we call a 2-variable linear system. It's something that you will pretty much learn how to solve in any kind of first-year algebra course. So at this point, let's suppose if you were confused on how to set up this problem. Okay, but now you're like, oh, okay, I get this, Mr. YouTube Math Man. Well, that's perfect, but let's see if you can actually solve this system, because this is kind of like another phase of this problem. All right, so now that we have this system right here, 2-variable linear system, we need to solve for x and y. Okay, so how can we do this? Well, hopefully you're thinking in terms of the substitution method or elimination or linear combination method. Those are going to be the 2 primary techniques to use here. Both are very good, but this particular problem is going to be very easy to solve with the substitution method because of this right here. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at how we're going to do that. So first things first, we have 3x plus 3y is equal to 30, and x is equal to y plus 2. Now notice I'm putting some parentheses around y plus 2. Now why am I doing that? Because when you use the substitution method, what you want to do is solve for one variable in one of the equations. Now here, we already have x basically solved for in this equation. So this is, pretty straightforward to use the substitution method. But a lot of students, or a lot of people will make mistakes because they don't have parentheses around what x or y might be solved for. So get in the habit of putting parentheses around your sums and differences just like this, because this is going to be a reminder that when you replace this x right here, the way the substitution method works is that we're going to replace this x in this other equation with this stuff right here, y plus 2. But when we do that, we have to have these parentheses, and if they're not there, you want to kind of write them in there, because if you don't, here we have 3, we're going to replace this x with y plus 2. But if we didn't have the parentheses, what ends up happening pretty frequently is that students just go, oh, 3y plus 2, that's what this is, what that's equal to. And that is absolutely wrong. Okay, you have to use parentheses because that's going to remind you to use the distributive property. Okay, so if you are having difficulty with any of this stuff, the algebra, how to solve all linear system, I'll give you some specific suggestions here in just 1 second. But let's go ahead and take the next step, which of course is using the distributive property to multiply 3 times y plus 2, and then kind of walk this equation forward. Now look here, what we have is one equation in one variable y. So we're going to solve for y. So we just replaced this 3x plus 3y is equal to 30. We replaced x with y plus 2 using parentheses. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and use the distributive property, 3 times y is 3y, 3 times 2 is 6, plus 3y is equal to 30. So now we can combine like terms. So we have 3y here, 3y there. That's 6y. So we have 6y plus 6 is equal to 30. Almost there. So now we want to get all of our variables on the left-hand side. So we have all of our variables all nice and tidy on the left, which is 6y. But here we want to get our numbers on the right, so we need to subtract 6 from both sides of the equation. So we have 6y is equal to 24, and to solve for y, all we have to do is divide both sides of the equation by 6, and we get y is equal to 4. Okay, so remember, we are solving for two variables, x and y, and we have two equations with both x and y in them. So we use the substitution method to get one equation with only one variable. In this case, it was one equation with just y, and we solved for y. Okay, so y is equal to 4. So now that we know what y is equal to, it's very easy to go back and figure out what x is equal to. So let's go ahead and do that right now. All right, now you can go back into any of the equations in the system, but we already know that x is equal to y plus 2. Okay, well, now that we know that y is equal to 4, and we want to figure out what x is equal to, well, we'll just replace this y with 4. Okay, so that's going to be 4 plus 2, or 6. So x is equal to 6, and y is equal to 4. And that makes sense because, remember, x and y represent the speed of both Joe and Amy in miles per hour. Okay, so Joe's speed is x, and Joe is running 2 miles per hour faster, so 6 and 4 are separated by 2. So this solution looks to be pretty good. Of course, y is Amy's speed, so there you go. All right, so again, a pretty classic type of problem. You're guaranteed to see a lot of these problems in all levels of mathematics. So you got to know this formula right here, rate times time is equal to distance. You have to know how to work with units of measure, but all this stuff you can learn. Okay, and the key here is to figure out what you know and don't know, and just work on the things that you don't know. Okay, but what you don't want to do is get discouraged and just keep trying to solve problems if you're missing particular skills that you need to solve those problems. So stop what you're doing in terms of word problems and things like that. Go back and say, all right, I don't understand how to solve a system. I don't understand this formula so much, Make yourself a little math shopping list and work on those particular skills. Once you kind of approach math in that way, everything is going to get a lot better. Okay, so with all that being said, I definitely wish you all the best in your math adventures. Thank you for your time and have a great day.